The boy clenched a pencil between his teeth during class. He did it to suppress the strange sounds that escaped him from time to time.
Jack, 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 Jack.
His classmates laughed at him. Even the teacher lost patience. They believed he was deliberately disrupting the class.
Can't. What? Help! What? Help it!
That's what you always say. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Your classmates are trying to study.
What? Jack! What?
The boy's name was Cohen. Since birth, his body had moved unpredictably. He would also make sounds similar to barking without meaning to. His mother took him to see specialists. None of the treatments helped. Eventually, even his father could no longer tolerate it.
Stop it! Stop it!
After he started school, his condition grew worse. Teachers continued to think he was causing trouble on purpose. One day, Cohen was finally sent to the principal's office. No matter how many times he explained that he couldn't control it, the principal believed he was making excuses. Fortunately, his mother chose to believe him. In order to help her son, she searched through every medical reference she could find in the library. At last, she learned that her son had Tourette syndrome. It was an extremely rare condition. Even worse, medical science at the time had no effective treatment. His mother broke down in tears. She realized this condition would follow her child for life. When the father learned the truth over the phone, he finally understood that he had misjudged his son.
Did you hear any noises during the quiet parts?
What?
Yeah, so did I. They're pretty annoying, aren't they? The person making those noises is Brad Cohen.
Brad's sudden vocal outburst instantly shattered the atmosphere of the concert. As he noticed the looks of disgust from the crowd, he wished he could disappear on the spot. But at that very moment, the principal unexpectedly called him up to the stage in front of the entire school.
Do you like making noises and upsetting people, Brad?
No, sir.
Then why do you do it?
What? Because I have Tourette syndrome.
What's that?
It's a thing in my brain that causes me to make weird noises.
But you could control it if you wanted to, right?
No, sir. It's a sickness.
Well, why can't you just get cured?
There isn't any cure. I don't like making noises any more than you like hearing them.
Wanting to clear up everyone's misunderstanding, Brad openly admitted that his condition had no cure. He braced himself, thinking the principal would expel him in front of everyone. Instead, the principal asked him a deeply heartfelt question.
What can we do to help you, Brad?
I just want to be treated like everybody else.
Good job. Give me some.
The auditorium fell completely silent. The only sound echoing through the room was the involuntary noises Brad made as he walked across the stage. But this time there was no laughter. What followed was sincere encouragement from the entire audience. For the first time in his life, Brad felt truly accepted. He understood that this moment was made possible by the principal's belief in him. He finally grasped what the principal once meant, that school is not just a place to gain knowledge, but a place where character is shaped and compassion begins.
What the fuck do you want?
It's irreplaceable, Millie.
What?
My grandmother, she brought this china all the way from London. And my mother, she served every single holiday meal on it with not so much as a single chip. And then you drop it.
Just because the woman broke a plate, the man decided to punish her by locking her in the attic and sealing the door from the outside. To discipline what he called her carelessness, Andrew made an outrageous demand. Since the bowl had shattered into 21 pieces, he ordered her to use one of the shards to mark her own abdomen 21 times. It was a completely twisted requirement. Millie never imagined that what she thought was happiness would turn out to be a nightmare. The man she trusted was anything but normal. As she struggled with what to do, she noticed something hidden inside a small cabinet near the sink, a knife. It looked exactly like the one Nina once held. Was this part of Nina's plan? In that moment, a bold idea formed in Millie's mind. If she wanted to escape, she had to endure the pain. Clenching her teeth, she followed Andrew's demand and pressed the sharp edge against her skin. One mark, then another. Each movement sent waves of agony through her body. Her cries echoed in the attic as she forced herself to continue. When the last mark was done, her abdomen was soaked in red. Overwhelmed and weak from blood loss, she collapsed onto the bed. Meanwhile, Nina was at a restaurant with her daughter. Since leaving that house, her complexion had clearly improved. The daughter, however, was still worried about Millie's safety. But Nina remained calm. She seemed to know exactly what kind of person Millie was and believed everything was unfolding as expected. The next morning, Andrew walked into the room and saw the 21 marks. He pretended to comfort her, murmuring that everything would be fine, completely unaware that he himself was stepping toward his own downfall. Then, with a disturbing sense of satisfaction, he lifted the fabric covering the girl's abdomen. A woman was confined to the attic by her extremely controlling husband over a few flakes on her scalp. As punishment, he ordered her to remove 100 strands of her own hair. If she failed, she would be locked inside indefinitely. The only thing available to her in the sealed room was what she could endure herself. For the chance to see her child again, she had no alternative. She followed his command and pulled out 100 strands despite the pain. After placing them into an envelope and handing it over,
I did everything that you asked me to do. Can you let me out, please?
One of the strands didn't have a follicle, so you have to start again.
What? Andrew, please.
Please be more careful this time.
Andrew, please!
The man demanded she repeat the act, otherwise the door would remain closed. Once again, Nina forced herself to comply. Only then did her husband unlock the door. Andrew entered and appeared considerate. He even brought her a bottle of water. What she didn't realize was that it had been altered, and something worse was still coming. At that moment, Nina's only worry was her daughter. She hurried downstairs to check on her. Seeing the child playing safely eased her briefly. Before she could approach, dizziness overwhelmed her. Her body collapsed uncontrollably. This was all part of Andrew's plan. When she woke again, it was already late at night. She heard the sound of running water from the bathroom. Her daughter was nowhere to be found. A sense of danger struck her immediately. She rushed inside and saw her child unconscious in the bathtub. The water continued to rise. The situation was critical. As she tried to intervene, the police suddenly arrived and took her away. She was accused of ingesting large amounts of prohibited pills. They claimed she had attempted to harm her own child. The truth was obvious. Everything was orchestrated by Andrew. His goal was to completely ruin Nina's reputation. Only then could he fully control her life. No matter how she described her experience to the judge, no one believed her. Between a wealthy, well-presented husband and a woman portrayed as unstable, the outcome was never in her favor. To get rid of the husband who betrayed her, the woman planned to push him off a cliff.
Any chance for some help?
He narrowly escaped that fate, but in her mind, a tragic fall during a mountain hike was the perfect way to make it look like an accident. After catching her husband cheating, Liv didn't break down. She didn't cry. Instead, she stayed unusually calm. She imagined 100 different ways to end his life. Sneak up behind him and strike him with a rock. Quick, but it might leave evidence. Lure a wild animal with food and let nature take care of him. Too complicated. Distract him on the highway and cause a crash. But that would destroy them both. One day, Liv finally came up with what she believed was the perfect plan. She secretly tampered with the kayak. Her husband happily climbed aboard. Soon, they were rafting through the wilderness. The current was unusually fierce, and the most dangerous stretch was just ahead. Her husband looked thrilled. The next second, he was thrown toward the edge of the drop, but he managed to grab onto a rope. Left with no choice, she helped pull him back up. In the chaos, she slipped and fell into the water herself, nearly drowning. Luckily, her husband pulled her to safety just in time. After that, life seemed to return to normal, until another unexpected moment arrived. The two of them went hiking in the wilderness. They were about to take a photo to post online. Suddenly, another woman appeared out of nowhere. The husband froze on the spot. The woman before them was being brutally whipped, simply because she refused to submit to the ruthless outlaws standing around her. Her cries echoed through the air while the men laughed loudly at her suffering. On the hill above, a lone man stood watching coldly, a coffin strapped to his back. Suddenly, gunshots rang out. Several of the outlaws dropped to the ground instantly. A few armed men appeared on the slope. For a moment, it seemed the woman had been saved. But to her horror, these men intended to nail her to a wooden cross. Just then, the man with the coffin began walking down the hill.
Are you here to bury the dead, huh? Then you're in business, and here's your first customers.
A woman shouldn't be treated in that way.
What's that you said?
It's not important. And if I bothered you, will you accept my apology?